everyone. Today we are going to talk about a few different ways that you can make your presentations more visually appealing to your audience to make sure that you are not overloading your audience with too much information or too many effects throughout your presentation. So let's go ahead and let's dig a little bit deeper into a few of the different aspects of visualization. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is typography. So you can see an example here. Sometimes when we use too many different fonts or typefaces, it can be very confusing or it can make our presentation look messy and cluttered. We want to try and keep the text on our screen short, sweet, and to the point. Only add as much text as you need to have on your screen, and if necessary, think about adding narration to your presentation or just using the text as talking points. Make sure that the font and color is clear and easy for your audience to read. It's always a good idea to look at the presentation yourself, take a step back, and ask yourself, am I able to read this? Is the font easy to read? Is the color easy to read? And also keep your text well spaced so your screen doesn't look too cluttered together and so you don't overload your audience. So here we have an example of a screen design. And I want to take a look at this and think, how could we redesign this screen to make it more visually appealing for our audience? Right now, it is very overwhelming. The background, there is a lot going on. There's a lot of different colors. There's a lot of different patterns. You can look at the font, and the font is difficult to read because of the font that was picked out. Also taking a look at the color. The color of the title is kind of blending in with the background. And then we're taking a look at some pictures here, and we need to ask ourselves, do these pictures relate to the message that we are trying to convey to our audience? So some of the things that we could do is use a more simple background, make the typography clear and easy to read, reduce the amount of images, and declutter the slide. We don't want to overwhelm our audience. So here you can see a more balanced approach to a screen design. We still have a background, but yet it is simple, but it still is adding color and design to the presentation. We just move the design off to one side so it is not overwhelming or cluttering our screen. Now we are able to read our text easily, and the text is also in a font that is easy to read, and the color is clear and stands out from the background. We reduce the number of images, and now we are making sure that our images also relate to the subject matter. The last thing that we want to think about when we are talking about our visualization of presentations is the media that is included in the presentation. All of your images, videos, audio, and graphics should relate to the content in your presentation. If you are embedding links within the text, you want to make sure that your links are working properly and that they are embedded with the text where your audience would need to find them to access that information. If they are off to the side, your audience may miss them and may miss some important information. You also want to be careful not to overload with too many links. You don't want to overload your audience with too much information. You want to make sure that you're only including the information that is absolutely necessary. And last but not least, always make sure that all of your media is functioning properly before presenting your presentation. So those are just a few things to keep in mind when you're creating things like Google Slide presentations, PowerPoint presentations, or any online content for an audience.